All right. Genesis chapter 38, flying through this. At that time, Yahudah went down from his brothers and visited a certain Adullamite, whose name was Herah. There, Yahudah saw the daughter of a certain Canaanite man named Shua. He took her and went into her. Here we go. We got one son, Reuben, sleeping with the father's concubine. Now we got Yahudah going after a Canaanite. She conceived and bore a son, and he named him She conceived again and bore a son, and she named him Onan. She yet again bore a son and named him Shelah. He was at Chezib when she bore him. Yahudah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. Okay, sounds like arranged marriage. Oh, derail, go ahead.
I got a question about the naming of the kids. Is that something the female does, the mother, or is that something in scripture a lot, or is it just happens to say that in this verse, these verses?
I want to say, I would have to, double check myself on this, but I want to say sometimes they both do. I think there's times where the man is naming them, but here it definitely looks like the woman is naming them.
Right.
It could be both. It could be a joint decision. But remember, I think the previous chapter, or 2 chapters ago, Benjamin, right? The wife named the kid something, but then the father named the kid a different name. So interesting. Maybe the husband gets the last say. He gives the last green light. I don't know. I'm not sure. I would like to think that's how it is. But yeah, we see here that sometimes the women are naming the kids, right?
Yep.
So that's definitely happening here. Yeah, verse 7. So Yahudah's firstborn, was wicked in Yahuwah's sight. So Yahuwah killed him. See? Sometimes you get a bad seed. Or a bad egg, like Willy Wonka says. She was a bad egg.
Is it because Is it because he came from them, that woman, from where she was from?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Because he has 2 other.
Yep, he has other kids by the Canaanite woman.
Oh, okay.
But that's a good question. Let's see. Verse 8. Yahudah said to Onan, go into your brother's wife and perform the duty of a husband's brother to her and raise up offspring for your brother. Torah, man. This is Moses stuff. Wow. It's very interesting. Tell that to the Christians who don't believe in the law of Moses, just everything before the law of Moses. Say, oh, so then are you okay with this standard? Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah, we should have brought that up to the Church of Christ pastor we were talking with on the YouTube video. All right. Wow. This predates the law of Moses. There you go. Verse 9. Onan knew that the offspring wouldn't be his. And when he went into his brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground, lest he should give offspring to his brother. Here's a thought. Here's a thought. Joshua had asked us in the previous chapter, why does it say, shall your mother and I bow down to you, but the mother is dead? It's almost as if she's like still alive. Here, I don't know. This just came to my head. There might not be a connection. I might be way off with this. But here, a brother is dead. When the other brother bears children for him, it's as if it's his brother's child that died. Even though he's dead, somehow it's his brother's. There's almost this connection, I think, with marriage and covenant marriage, even after death. Maybe you're still one. I don't know. I'm not sure. No, I know, because it says you're not married, the marriage until you're dead. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so I just gave it a shot. I'm giving it a try, okay, to answer Joshua's question that he found for us. Okay, I'm a little tripped up, okay? I'm trying my best. All right. But that is interesting. He's dead, and it's considered his child, so I think he's still I don't know how to say this. It's still his child who's dead, but somehow the woman is free to marry somebody else. Okay, so maybe there's some kind of middle ground. We got to meet the two together. One scripture is saying this, one scripture is saying this. Maybe there's a middle ground somewhere, okay? I don't know.
What is your verse saying on 9? Can you read it again?
Yeah. Onan knew that the offspring wouldn't be his. Onan is the brother that's alive. And
Septuagint says, knowing that the seed should not be his.
Same thing. Same difference, my brother.
Same thing? It sounds different.
Yeah.
The seed word. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Knowing that the seed should not be his. So the seed's not going to be his. The sperm and the offspring of that is not going to be Onan's.
It's his sperm, but it's not his child.
Yeah.
I'm taking it like he don't want it to be, like he don't think it should be his.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll read the 9 one more time. Onan knew that the offspring wouldn't be his. And when he went into his brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground, lest he should give offspring to his brother. What does the rest say in the Septuagint for that? It says, so that he should not give seed to his brother's wife. I think it's definitely saying it wouldn't be Onan's seed. It would be his brother's seed, because the last line says it in the Septuagint too. Verse 10. The thing which he did was evil in Yahuwah's sight, and he killed him also. Verse 11, then Yahudah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law. This is really good. I'm going to use this in the next debate with a Christian on the law. Because most Christians would like to say, hey, we believe in everything before the law of Moses. You know, we follow in the faith of Abraham, you know. Like, and everything before that. And then everything after the resurrection. Nothing about the law of Moses. We believe the law of Moses has been nailed to the cross. Okay, so there was no law of Moses here. Is this still in effect? Yeah. Oh, those cultural, but yeah, you following the faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Yeah, I'm definitely using this one. I would like to see what they say. Verse 11. Then Yahudah, oh, I'm sorry, Ezzy, your hand's been up for a while. My apologies. Sorry.
Not so long. It's okay. I was just gonna say to the point of having this son for the brother that's not there. In Exodus 22, verse 29, it says, "Do not withhold your produce and your juice. Give me the firstborn of your sons. Likewise, you are to do with your oxen, with your sheep. It is to be with the mother for 7 days. On the 8th day, you give it to me." So I wonder if this whole concept of, giving an heir to the brother that's not there has to do with the significance of the firstborn. The firstborn, belongs to Yahuwah, and the first of all your things.
It wouldn't be Onan's, that's the thing. It's not considered his child.
My wife Milo is saying that, she's repeating, but it wouldn't be Onan's. it wouldn't be Onan's child. It would be the dead brothers.
Right. So I'm saying maybe that's the significance, because you have to have a firstborn to, I guess, redeem to Yahuwah. Like, not for Onan, but for the brother. He doesn't have an heir, but he also doesn't have a firstborn to give to Yahuwah. So I'm just wondering if that's the significance of a brother giving an heir, not just because they need someone to have an inheritance, but also so that there is a firstborn.
Maybe it has to do a little bit with the wife, giving the wife something.
I don't know.
They got married. It's almost like that's a woman deserves that, right? That's what a woman waits her whole life for. She's a virgin. She gets married. The goal is to bear children. So maybe it's also
That's
for the
true.
wife.
I can see that. Giving the wife her due. I can see that.
Yeah, giving the wife her due. Yep. And yeah, multiplying. Be fruitful, multiply, right? So, all right. Verse 11. Then Yahudah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow in your father's house until Shelah, my son, is grown up. For he said, lest he also die like his brothers. Tamar went and lived in her father's house. Any thoughts about that? Anything? Milo's read ahead. She's cliff notes, little spark notes. We'll hold off. She says, sounds like he's about to be conniving. We'll see where this goes. Verse 12, after many days, Shua's daughter, the wife of Yahudah, died. Yahudah was comforted and went up to his sheep shears to Timnah, he and his friend Hirah, and the Adulamite. I want to see something real quick. I want to look at Shua's name real quick. Interested. Shua. Yes, that's definitely Shua. And it means wealth. Shin Wa Ayin. Shua. Let's go back. All right, so here we go. Tara was told, quote, behold, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep. Tamar, right? Tamar was told, behold, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep. She took off the garments of her widowhood and covered herself with her veil and wrapped herself and sat in the gate of Enaim, which is on the way to Timnah. For she saw that Shelah was grown up and she wasn't given to him as a wife. When Yahudah saw her, he thought that she was I remember this story now. He thought that she was a prostitute, for she had covered her face. He turned to her by the way, and again, more dysfunction as he going on here. This is crazy. This is frustrating crazy, okay? He turned to her by the way and said, please come, let me come into you, for he didn't know that she was his daughter-in-law. She said, what will you give me that you may come into me? He said, I will send you a young goat from the flock. She said, will you give me a pledge until you send it? He said, what pledge will I give you? She said, your signet and your cord. I want something physical. And your staff that is in your hand. He gave them to her and came into her, and she conceived by him. This is cray-cray. She arose and went away and put off her veil from her and put on the garments of her widowhood. Yahudah sent the young goat by the hand of his friend, the Adulamite, to receive the pledge from the woman's hand, but he didn't find her. Then he asked the men of her place, saying, where is the prostitute that was at Enaim by the road? They said, there has been no prostitute here. He returned to Yahudah and said, I haven't found her. And also the men of the place said, there has been no prostitute here. Yahudah said, let her keep it, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this young goat, and you haven't found her. About 3 months later, Yahudah was told, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has played the prostitute. Moreover, behold, she is with child by prostitution. Yahudah said, bring her out and let her be burned. You should be burned too. Getting involved with this mess. What's wrong with you? Verse 25, when she was brought out, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, I am with child by the man who owns these. She also said, please discern whose these are, the signet and the cords and the staff. Yahudah acknowledged them and said, she is more righteous than I, because I didn't give her to Shelah, my son. He knew her again no more. Any thoughts? It's a crazy story. Very, very crazy. All right, y'all. This is the foundation of Yahuwah's favorite people on the planet.
More deception.
Huh?
More deception. I really think Yaakov brought on the spirit of deception because he has deceived her.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just more deception. That's what I see.
Yahudah.
No, she's saying like generational curses, right?
Right, but it started with Yaakov. The deception started with Yaakov and going into the multiple generations.
Got you. Lying to his father. What else? What happened after that?
His sons deceiving Shechem, the people of Shechem,
Oh,
and then the brother
son, or showing partiality.
When the sons of Yaakov deceived Shechem for going into Dinah, whatever her name is, when they were saying she had to be circumcised and they slayed them, and then the brothers of Joseph deceiving their father. It's just continuing.
Got you. Yeah, this is bad. Verse 27. Actually, you know what? We'll stop there. I think that's a story there. No, you know what? We'll keep going. Verse 27. In the time of her travail, behold, twins were in a room. When she travailed, one put out a hand, and the midwife took and tied a scarlet thread on his hand, saying, this came out first. As he drew back his hand, behold, his brother came out. And she said, why have you made a breach for yourself? Therefore his name was called Perez, which means breaking out. Afterward, his brother came out, who had the scarlet thread on his hand, and his name was called Zerah. That is interesting. Have you guys ever heard of that happening during a pregnancy? Hey, I'm here. Put a hand back in.
With a foot, yeah, I've heard it's called a footling breach when the foot comes out first. But with twins, for a hand to come out and then the second one come out before him, that's like out of this world. Crazy.
Okay. Unheard of. Haven't really heard of that. Haven't really experienced anybody or heard of anybody experience that. Interesting. Jeff, my brother Jeff.
It kind of reminds me, it sparks memories of Jacob and Esau, heel grabber, right? They literally marked one as the firstborn, thinking he's the firstborn, tie that around his wrist.
Yeah.
And then so that they can recognize him as the firstborn of the twins. But then his hand goes back in, and the other one is now firstborn.
Because that brother took him back in. He yoked him up. He's like, get over here.
Yeah, maybe by the heel. Maybe he grabbed him by the heel.
Maybe by the heel. Oh my goodness. All right, that is chapter. I'm glad I didn't stop the recording because there was only a little bit left. Where are we at here?
38.
Yep. Chapter 38. Afterward, his brother came out who had the scarlet thread on his hand, and his name was called Zerah, which is scarlet or brightness. All right, so one is called breaking out, and one is called brightness. That was chapter 38.